Welcome to Vienna, for those of you, many of you who came from abroad this morning, even very early morning. I know many of you took very early flights to come here. We're very grateful that you came and spent those 2 days with us, which I hope will be very meaningful for all of us. Excellencies, honorable members of parliament and religious leaders, ambassadors for peace, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very great honor for me to welcome you to this International Leadership Conference in Vienna, in this beautiful Park Hotel Schönbrunn. We've gathered here from 45 nations, representing every continent, from very diverse religious and cultural backgrounds, but with one important common belief, that in order to create a peaceful world of interdependence and mutual prosperity, we need to bring together both the skills and the experience of political leaders and the global vision provided by religions and the universal values that are at their roots.
The vision of the UPF is deeply rooted in the understanding of interreligious, intercultural, and international cooperations. In this critical time of history, we need to work together to realize for world peace and human development.
Thank you for your invitation to Interreligious Leadership Conference in Vienna. As I cannot be with you today, I would like to use modern technology and send you my heartfelt greetings as European Union Special Envoy for Freedom of Religion or Belief. Your conference is focusing on peace and development. We have to remember that peace is a fruit of justice, and development is other new name for peace. Therefore, sustainable development presupposes justice and fairness in family and in society, good governance, pursuit of common good. In today's world, there are many leaders who claim my nation first, my country first, my religion first. This easily leads to superioritism and divisions, even to conflicts. Therefore, we need more leadership and commitment oriented towards common good. And such good always delivers positive fruits like peace, justice, development, respect to dignity of everyone, everywhere.
I'm very happy to greet you, and the Women's Federation for World Peace is honored to have been able to contribute to these important events. While putting down ideas for this short speech, I felt elated to be able to speak freely about God. I thought to you here in this inauguration of the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development that I can speak about God. At the United Nations and in other circles that I'm working, unfortunately, we always have to camouflage that word. Sacred or innate dignity is about as close as we get. But quietly, I always want to remind people that human rights are bestowed upon us by our Creator, and it is hard to justify their universality and their truth without recognizing that.
So we are basically involved in peace education, peace initiatives. We are especially also emphasizing marriage and family. Why? Because it is in the family that human beings are truly created and educated. The family, as we like to say, is the school of love and ethics. Also, we are very concerned about youth and how to encourage youth with a vision to serve the world. Also, we work closely with the United Nations. We are registered with ECOSOC of the United Nations, and we support the various development goals of the United Nations. Also, we hold World Summit conferences, bringing together former presidents, prime ministers, leaders of government and state, who have gained a lot of experience through their work in those positions and can share their wisdom based on that to up-and-coming leaders. So we are about peace, but as the motto of this whole program that you're now participating in, peace starts with me. And so that is really the truth, that in the end of the day, the demilitarized zone or the Berlin Wall or these barriers, That is not the problem. The problem lies in the human being. So we like the motto that the heart of the human problem is the human heart. If we can change ourselves and our hearts, we can bring peace. Look at what's happening in Korea as an example. I thought all of us were looking at the North Korean leader as the devil incarnate, and perhaps. But he showed a different attitude and spirit, and hopefully he has been genuine, and I tend to believe that he is. So overnight, things can change. And this is the kind of era we're living in right now. And so I think that our organization will play a very major role in supporting these kinds of initiatives and projects.
We have seen in South and North Korea yesterday, the time is over for hostility. Time is over for bad thinkings and telling this is evil, this is good. As human beings, all of us have the possibility to be evil or good. It's our choice, daily new. And so I see tremendous tasks are ahead of us. And about this I will speak in some short minutes. You see nothing. That's a symbol for what politicians and civil society leaders and people are living in our European society. They don't see nothing because they don't realize what is happening. And so I tell time is over. Time is over for these high-level shake-hand media meetings, with photo shootings, with nice pictures in the news, and nothing coming afterwards. Time is over. Time is over for pure, and as an academic, I realize this in all my work in the last 10 years. Time is over for pure academic discussions about similarities and differences in religions, in faiths, in beliefs, in our theological models. Everything has been said in the last 20 years. We are tired. Religious leaders and academics are tired of all these discussions with no end, because there's nothing new. We all know about what we are, but what is the next step about? I think launching IPD on November 13th in Seoul last year has been such a first step out of a spiritual vision, a step into a new concept of an active commitment for real, grounded peace and development in our civil society and everywhere where mosques, churches, and temples are standing. Yes, I believe this could be, but it lies on our shoulders to bring it to life. And it's only possible that IRPD could be a real first and new step for peace and development if we are able to integrate the academic world, the rational world, the discursive world, like my European Academy of Science and Arts. And if we are able to integrate in our work the politicians of our societies, because they are the decision makers, and without them, no public debate, no peace, and no development will be possible.
And Jesus also was there. He was spreading the culture of peace. The culture how to control your selfishness and your egoism, because we are suffering from this large egoism and selfishness. This is the virus that destroys the human communities, that spread the culture of evil, darkness, killing, bloodshed. Our civilization now is going down. Sorry to say that. Because the four elements that God gave us, mind, body, spirit, and emotion. We are now just keeping two of them alive and strong, mind and body. And you can see, wherever you go, bodies exposed. And you have a lot of knowledge. The knowledge is going beyond our needs. But our spirit is our spirit in the exile, in the prison, suffering. It needs a kind of worship, a kind of service. And emotion also, where are the emotions? The love became money. All the relations, they became material. So we are suffering in our modern civilization. Our civilization now is going down. Sorry to say that. Because the four elements that God gave us, mind, body, spirit, and emotion. We are now just keeping two of them alive and strong, mind and body. And you can see, wherever you go, bodies exposed. And you have a lot of knowledge. The knowledge is going beyond our needs. But our spirit is our spirit in the exile, in the prison, suffering. It needs a kind of worship, a kind of service. And emotion also, where are the emotions? The love became money. All the relations, they became material. So we are suffering in our modern civilization. Okay, so the question is now, where is the problem? Where is the defect? The defect not in the religions. The defect, the problem, the error is in the leaders of religions. I'm sorry to say that. Maybe I am one of them. I am working in this field. Then I asked one of my scholars, once I told him now how we bear the responsibility of the problems in modern contemporary life. He said, I don't exaggerate if I say that 70% of our problems in the Middle East came from the leaders or the religious leaders. So problem is coming from us. I'll tell you just only a few because now I have only 1 minute. Please don't sleep just because only 1 minute. Okay, I'll tell you now, please, the last words. Life is short. Life is very short. When you like this way, life is gone away. So invest your time, your second, in spreading the culture of tolerance and peace and freedom. Number 2, time is running away. Now we are here. I don't know what's my destiny after 1 second. We don't know where are we tomorrow, because tomorrow is absence. Number 3, it's a great responsibility now that we are here in this hall. It's a great responsibility just to work faithfully for the sake of the people, to serve the people. As much as you serve, as much as your rank go higher. This is the reality from my viewpoint. So, in spite of all black clouds in the sky, I am very, very optimistic. I am very, very optimistic. We have also to obtain the culture of optimism. Again, smile. Thank you very much for your attention and patience. Thank you.
My name is Anders Gadegaard. I'm from Denmark, the Dean of the Cathedral. I'm a Lutheran priest. I would like to thank all of you for your contributions, and I have a question to you, Dr. Ismail Yassini, for one of your last remarks. As far as I understood you, you said that the main responsibility for the crisis in Syria is among and with the religious leaders. If that is correctly quoted, I would like you to elaborate a little bit upon why the religious leaders have the main responsibility for the crisis, and what you expect from them, the Muslim leaders, the Christian leaders in Syria, in order to support a peaceful development. Thank you.
I said, one of the scholars said, the responsibility of the backwardness of Islam, mostly by the scholars, because we call the scholars in Islam like a dynamo of the society. So some scholars, or maybe some parts of the Islamic world, they are living like the medieval. Okay, in Europe, maybe in, just about 500 years when Europe was sleeping in a deep darkness. So the question number 2, as Dr. Habash stated clearly, religion is not the reason for the conflict in Syria at all. What is the reason? The real reason is injustice, lack of democracy, lack of human rights, lack of human dignity. Not only in Syria, in all, just on the Arab land. I'm sorry to say, maybe in Saudi Arabia it's worse. In Bahrain, just now, I don't want just to count the countries, about 22 countries in the Arab League. So they are suffering, the people. And so when you have injustice, maybe I can bear after 40 or 50 years of my age. But the young people, they don't bear. This will lead to radicalization and extremism. When you don't convince the people with the good chances to work, to find a job for them, to give them their dignity, just to make education for them. So we lack this kind of service. Then the Arab Spring came, and the Arab Spring became a muddy winter. I'm sorry to say that. A muddy winter. And we hope after the winter there will come a spring again.
The launch of the IPD is what? Peter. The launch of the IPD is what? It is a firework of hope for our weak societies. Second chance. The launch of the IPD. It's a lighthouse and an orientation for the next generation in our civil society. Thank you very much.
All this presents the challenge for local and international institutions, as well as other human mechanisms, including but not limited to religious leaders and their beloved followers, who must take responsibility for the role they have in preventing such developments that are very damaging for humanity.
Countries are undergoing fast and profound changes, from demographic aging to new family patterns. from new forms of work to the impacts of globalization. Today, there is a growing and consensual thought that goes more or less like this. If we are aiming to create resilient societies, we need to promote equal opportunities. In a time of fast and constant changes, the emphasis must be on empowering people and building more resilient social structures that can adapt over time. In a modern society, everyone must be able to contribute and gain access to a new window of opportunity and different stages of life. And this is also a question of justice and social cohesion.
I know my people in Syria. My people study all religions. My people love all religions. My people believe according what Quran says about prophets. We have to believe all prophets. We cannot be Muslims without good belief, good faith of all religions had been mentioned in word scripture or in the Holy Quran. Even so, we have more faith with Jesus Christ. We believe him as a messenger of God. We believe him as a prophet of God. We believe him as a word of God. We believe him as a spirit of God. We believe him as a one still alive, and he is coming at the day of judgment. Because of that, I can see, according to our faith, according to my country, my people, I know my people, our Muslims are very, very tolerant people and tolerant nation, and they believe all prophets, they believe all religions. But unfortunately, with the situation of dictatorship, with the situation of injustice, we can find a lot of people who convert radical movement and who follow radical movement and leave their tolerance. When you find your house, your situation, when you find your family under the destroying, how can you speak about mercy and love? Unfortunately, this is our situation. But even so, we believe that our relation, we have to struggle against any kind of monopoly of salvation. We have to struggle against any kind of monopoly of God. We have to struggle against any kind of monopoly of paradise. We have to treat our selfishness. This is exactly what I heard by my from Father Moon, maybe 25 years ago, when he said we have to treat with our selfishness. We have to understand that God is for all. We have to be one family under God. We have to struggle against monopoly of the faith. We have to struggle against monopoly of prophets, monopoly of hereafter, monopoly of reality, monopoly of resurrection. We have to call for one family. We call in Islam for a religion among religions, not a religion above all. A nation among nations, not a nation above all. A prophet among prophets, not above all. We believe God is one, but his names are many. Reality is one, but its ways are many. Spirituality is one, but religions are many. The love is one, but hearts are many. I hope to receive you someday in my country, in Syria, in Iraq, in Libya, in Yemen, without wars. Thank you.
So, good morning, everyone. We're very happy to welcome you to this session, which has a very, very important theme, I think you know, and that's one of the reasons why you're here. We want to talk today about values education and healthy families, fostering an environment for prosperity, citizenship, and interreligious harmony.
Derselbe Mund, der von sich gesagt hat, ich bin der Weg, die Wahrheit und das Leben.
The same person who said, I'm the way, the truth and life.
Das ist Jesus. Er hat uns gelehrt, ihr nun sollt vollkommen sein, wie euer himmlischer Vater vollkommen ist.
He told us, you should become perfect like your heavenly Father is perfect, your heavenly parent is perfect.
Das ist ein großes Wort und das Problem, das wir damit haben, wir glauben es nicht.
It's a great message, but the problem is we don't believe it.
Nur Frauen glauben das.
Only women believe in this. That's why you're great here. That's why I'm here with you.
Männer sind Zweifler.
Men are doubtful people.
Also wir haben dieses Wort nicht genug ernst genommen, was Jesus uns hier gelehrt hat.
We didn't value this word enough, what Jesus taught us.
Aber damit hat Jesus uns gelehrt und auch selber vorgelebt, dass Gott in jedem Menschen drin wohnt.
But Jesus taught us through that God lives in every one of us.
Und nicht als Idee oder Ideologie, sondern als Person, Geist.
Not just as an idea, but as a person, as a spirit.
Ja.
Your Excellencies, honorable members of Parliament and religious leaders, ambassadors for peace, our dear friends, the time has now come for the focal point of this conference, the inauguration of the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development in Europe and the Middle East. We are very happy to have a larger attendance this morning, and before we begin our program, I would like in particular to recognize the presence of important dignitaries who have joined us for this occasion. First, we are very honored to welcome among us a delegation of our beloved founders' family and international headquarters, and I would like to introduce them, Mrs. Sun Jin Moon, International President of the Family Federation for World Peace, and her husband, Mr. In Sup Pak. Mr. Cheyana Moon, Professor of the Women's Federation for World Peace International. Mrs. Julia Moon, President of the Korean Cultural Foundation and the Universal Ballet. Please welcome her. Mrs. Wonju McDavid, who is the head of the International Secretariat of our founder, Mother Moon, and Dr. Yoon Young-ho, who is the Secretary General of the International Headquarters of the Family Federation for World Peace. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And then we have also a very important guest who, despite his very busy schedule, has come to give us congratulatory remarks on this auspicious occasion. His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea in Austria, Mr. Shin Dong-ik, is the ambassador to this country from the Republic of Korea, also the Korean representative to the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, and the Deputy Ambassador of the Korean mission to the UN in Geneva. Please welcome him, and he will give us his congratulatory remarks. Please, Ambassador, come here.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. To be honest, I'm not here to deliver any congratulatory remarks, because I'm quite new. I just learned the association and Global Leadership Conference, but I sincerely convey my deep congratulations for your successful annual hosting conference. But I was asked by my former boss, Ambassador John. He summoned me in the morning 2 hours ago just to come to this hotel and share all the informations and what really happened in Korea to promote peace and reconciliation between two Koreas, because this issue is directly related to your devoted efforts to promote peace all over the world. So I hope our case in the Korean Peninsula can be a good example to be maybe copied and to further spread to the other region, including the Europe and Asia and Africa, or the conflict zone in the world.
In the evening you have a concert, and there is standing "Peace starts with me." I would say it's same with the tolerance. Tolerance starts immediately with me, and therefore it's so difficult because you see the problems from other people much better and much more intensively as your own faults, your own mistakes, and we have to learn it. And then the other message would be, we must stop the whole imperialistic way of approaching other people. This imperialistic, it's also with religions, with politics and so on. We have to try to motivate our people. And maybe I can make an example from my experience in surgery. I think it was when you speak, when I have spoken with my patients, I have seen in the glance of the eyes that they have a trust to do this, but they have been motivated. And I think, and therefore, I think those meetings like this one here are so important that we are starting to motivate us to speak to the other, to reach to the other. Motivation, I would say, is a big issue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I could continue.
The Interreligious Association for Peace and Development for the European and Middle East chapter.
And this Mrs. Asma Kuftaro. She's a member of the Women's Advisory Board and UN Envoy for Peace Building in Syria. She established the Syrian Islamic Forum to promote women's and children's rights and create the condition for peace in Syria. She's a granddaughter of Sheikh Ahmad Kuftaro, the late Grand Mufti of Syria, who was renowned for his efforts of interreligious harmony and who worked very closely with our founder, Dr. Moon, many years ago. Please welcome warmly Mrs. Asma Kuftaro.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Peace be upon you.
والحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى أخويه موسى وعيسى وعلى آل كل وصحب كل أجمعين.
So praise to be God and his greeting upon all the prophets from Moses, Jesus and Prophet Muhammad. Yeah.
يقول الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان.
So God said in the Quran, try to cooperate for good deeds and righteousness.
سعيدة أن أقدم رسالتي كامرأة مسلمة تشعر بأن الإسلام أوجب عليها العمل والشراكة من أجل بناء سلام حقيقي والتعاون على.
I think there is a curve, and I think we are at different places on the curve, but the same things apply.
Well, thank you, friends, for asking me to speak. And as I'm wearing my Sunday best, I'd like to begin with a short prayer I often use before a sermon. Lord, please may something I say be of some use to someone. So, Mary and I are very happy to be here because we have very happy memories of Austria. We spent our honeymoon here and our first child was conceived here.
Open the declaration of establishment of IAPD. Music, thank you very much. Now we'll have two prayers from Father Mariano Perón, who is a Catholic priest from Spain. He has been the diocesan delegate for interreligious relations in the Diocese of Madrid between 1974 and 2012. And then after him, Rector Khalil Merun, who is a member of the board of the French Council for the Muslim Faith and the founder and rector of
بهم يا ربي إنك رفيق سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My dear friends, excellencies, spiritual fathers and brothers, I ask you all for a silent prayer to stand up and to raise up. And I ask you to shut down, to close your mobile phones, and to open your heart for the voice of the Lord, of God in our world. In November, we had been in Seoul with 100,000 people convoked together, joining for a peace rally and praying for the peace in Korea, the peninsula. 2 days ago, we have seen that prayer can end struggles and can open a hope where nobody believed that there is a hope. And in the silent minute of prayer, I ask you to pray in your heart and to your God that peace will be possible and will be a reality in the Korean peninsula and in all over the world. Thank you. Please sit down again.
Thank you. Please have a seat. We will now close with a ceremony. We wanted to invite 12 representatives of different religions and cultures, participants here with us, and with them we'll make this ceremony of mixing the water and lighting the candle, representing life in heaven and on earth. But we also wanted to have young people with us on stage, because religion is not just something of the past, but it's really something of the future. And so we will start the ceremony with 12 young people who will come on stage and who will prepare for the coming of these 12 representatives. Please stay, and then I will call on the young people. Please let the young people come in.
The first which is coming in are the candles. In the beginning of the Bible, the Lord tells us that the first deed he did after creating heaven and earth was creating the light. And the light, and the light will bring us the judgment of good and evil and the ability to understand what is good and what is evil. It's the first creation of God and a symbol of hope for growing and understanding of the human race. And the second thing we bring in is the water. Water is life. But the water we have today in the hands of our young fellows is water from all edges over the world. It's water from the west and the east, from Thailand and Russia, from north and south. It's water from Christian and Muslim countries. It's water from Buddhist and Hinduist countries. And please tell me if you see any difference. It is the same water which gives life to our body, life to our world.
Thank you.
And so it is the same with our life. The human being in our soul, there is no difference. We are like the water, a source of life for this world. And so light and water are the roots of hope and the symbols for the value of life. And we will bring it together in this peace ceremony.
Thank you. Now I would like to please come on stage. 12 representatives of faith: Hanna Ramdaran, Christian Moravian; Hjortur Johansson, Christian Lutheran; Vadim Polyansky, Judaism; Velma McClymont, Christian; Maxim Melinti, Christian Orthodox; Fumia Sako, Buddhism; Fermani Altun, Shia Islam; Katarina Dekanovska, Christian Hussite; Ramlochan Tewari, Hinduism; Sumya Genun, Sunni Islam; Jatinder Singh Birdi, Sikhism; Abdo Badwi, Christian Maronite. Please take behind you the candle. Please take from the young people the candle, each one of you. Please take the water. Please take a glass of water from behind you. Please stand around. Stand around the table. Now, please together light the candles and mix the waters in the bowl. Thank you. Please stand back and give back the candles and the glasses to the young people. Please stand in one line. Stand in line in half circle behind the tables. Please line up behind the tables. And the young people, please give back the candles and come down to the stage. Young people, please come down in front of the stage and line up in front of the stage. And I will now ask Dr. Kuhn to come and make the declaration for the establishment of the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development. Dr. Kuhn.
The IAPD will be the fundament of life in peace and spirituality, and a light of interreligious tolerance and respect into our European civil society. The document we will sign says directly what we wish, what we work for, what we believe in. and I make a citation from it. The document says, throughout the ages, religions has served as a guide to humanity, leading us from darkness into light. But we also recognize that persons within each of our religions have sometimes fallen short and failed to embody those universal ideals. We resolve to overcome the divisive tendencies that may emerge within a religion and to work to promote dialogue, mutual respect, and cooperation so that we may more effectively work to solve the critical challenges of our time, including poverty, hunger, injustice, environmental degradation, family breakdown, corruption, conflict, and violence. Not only should religions cooperate with one another, they should also work together with the leaders of governments and civil society. On this day, April the 29th, 2018, we endorse the proposal to establish the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development here in the heart of Europe, in Vienna.
Thank you. Please applaud the establishment of the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development. Merun.
Спасибо. Thank you very much.
I'm going to close by asking you to give one more round of applause to Mrs. Seiko Lee. We really are coming to the end of our program. I'm going to remind you of a couple of things before we say goodnight to you. One thing is, please remember the declaration for the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development is here for you to sign. So maybe before you leave the room, if you would like to, feel free to sign the declaration. The second is I'd like to ask Mr. D.
About Europe and Eurasia dialogue, and even more than that, I hope we could discuss the idea of the so-called Helsinki II process, which is very much important for all of us, people living in Europe and Eurasia. I still remember our discussion devoted to the same topic in the year 2015, and I still remember Dr. Walter Schwimmer and myself were sitting